Hi, this is Suresh, and I haven't given an update on .in domains in a while. So happy New Year, first of all, 2023. The topic I want to talk today about is how people value .in domain names. Now, if you go back in history, .coms had a similar, growth pattern, and right around I think mid 2000s, we for the first time we started seeing public disclosures by large public companies on what they valued their .com domain names. For example, cars.com, I think they valued their domain name for $700 million. That's part of their business, but their whole business was based on domain name, right? Now that is not the case for many companies. The domain names might be a small or big part of their business. So depending on how they use the domain name and what they invested in it, it could be quite big. With .in and .coin domain names, which are primarily the commercial extensions in India, we're yet to see those public disclosures from companies. From publicly listed companies, typically when they buy and sell businesses, those businesses might be built on .in domain names or .coin domain names. And in those cases, it's typically businesses would disclose what they're worth. They might disclose the whole business. They may not separate out the domain name worth itself. But in the real world, typically a store built on a location, the location is extremely important. But a factory is not as important. It doesn't matter where you build a factory, in most cases, right? You could move a factory from place to place. Similarly, with domain names, in some cases, the businesses, the domain names may not be as important. But in a lot of cases, especially in startups, the companies that have been around the last 5 to 10 years, who built their whole business using .in, .coin domain names, now the valuation of those domain names are now quite higher because they've invested money into those businesses. The value of the business has grown. The domain value has grown now. So let's say they acquired the domain for $10,000 5 years ago, and their business is now worth $20 million. What is the value of the domain name today? So this is an interesting question for people to think about because a domain name's value can go exponentially depending on how much is invested on the business and how valuable that domain name is for that business. So for .in, .coin, India is a huge market. India is growing. There's tons of investors interested in investing in India, and the number of high quality premium domain names are always in short supply. So there's only so many domain names that's valuable, highly valuable for each industry in India. And as a business owner, I think the earlier you get and understand domain names for India, the earlier the better. Thank you again. Until the next time, this is Suresh signing off.